places in the world that feel cold and out of place. There are scenes that make you crumple into sand. There are things still left untold. Some things make you question grace, but don't you let them get life out of hand. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. I can only see the now, and it makes me ask how come life never handed me a silver spoon. Truth is I never bowed, only gave to you my song. Yet you called me out and brought me in your room. In your house I find real peace. In your house I find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. It is a house not made with hands, not built or forged by man. It is simply only God and God alone. And He welcomes all who come with His arms so full of love. So come and let yourself be undone. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best. In your house I find real peace. In your house we find the least. In your house the weary enter into rest. In your house is true release. In your house is warmth and ease. In your house is where life truly is the best.
I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore, very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more. But the master of the sea heard my despairing cry, from the waters lifted me, now safe am I. And my past keeps me from returning to it, for it was God that brought me through it. And when the memories come rushing back to try and sway my walk, His Spirit, oh, His Spirit begins to talk. All my heart to Him I give, ever to Him I will cling, in His blessed presence live, ever His praises sing. Love so mighty and so true merits my soul's best songs, faithful love and service to Him belongs. My past keeps me from returning to it, for it was God that brought me through it. And when the memories come rushing back to try and sway my walk, His Spirit, oh, His Spirit able now to keep me all my days. I want nothing but His presence all my life. He promised to be within this strife. For past keeps me from returning to it. For it was God that brought me through it. And when the memories come rushing back to try and sway my walk, His Spirit, oh, His Spirit begins to talk. My past keeps me from returning to it. For it was God that brought me through it. And when the memories come rushing back to try and sway my walk, His Spirit, oh, His Spirit begins to talk.
It's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. In my darkness I cried to you. In my despair you heard my weak request. I sat there a captive to my sin and gloom, incomplete and utter distress. Yet it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. I cried to you in trouble and woe, prisoner in chains, rebelling against my first love, sealed from you in a dark, dank, empty tomb, despising God above. Still, it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. I defile myself by what I do, yet you say my rebellion grips me fast. But to yourself you've stayed ever true, that life forever past. And it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. One. In my darkness I cried to you. You heard my weak request. I sat there a captive to my sin and gloom, incomplete and utter distress. Yet it's all I need to know.
Good morning, everybody. New look. I get it. New look. And I'll give you an update first about things yesterday, and then we'll get into a little bit of the day. I was taking the wife to work. By the way, welcome everybody. It's good to see you guys here. Um, but I was taking the wife to work, and we were only about maybe a minute and a half from home when we left, and we were going around a bus, and around the bus we came up to a roundabout, and at the roundabout um, we were probably at around just before it, about 40, 50 feet from it. Um, we came around it. We slowed down to about, I don't know, 20. And then when we got near the front of the bus, we looked forward and there was a car in the air, literally in the air, flying, flying over the roundabout. Um, and landed right in front of us. But I turned to the right, but the car bounced off the road because of how high it came from, and landed in the back just behind the driver's side, crushed the back of the car, and yanked us back to the left, and spun out and went down the road a little bit. And like that, but it felt like in slow motion. So we obviously we survived it, but it was quite crazy because if I had decided to just try and stop, we would have been dead. If the course correction hadn't happened, we'd be dead. In other words, we're talking about inches, and one press too late of the gas or the brake, and we'd have been gone. Had my kid been in the car, he'd been gone too. So it was crazy. Now the guy, we got out of our car to go see if he was okay, and he was, when we found him, he was in the back seat of his car. He was the driver, but he ended up in the back passenger seat of the passenger side of the car, in his back seat, looking at us like we didn't know who he was. I mean, he was gone. His men. Apparently, he had just done some fentanyl while driving, and passed out. He had hit a car before he hit the roundabout. So he hit the car, spun out, hit the roundabout, ramped straight up over it, and landed. He was unscathed, and then hit the bus, hit our car, and then his two front tires were doing the splits. So hover car kind of situation. And then the adrenaline wore off, and our pain started to kick in. So B had some good whiplash. It re-aggravated my back. So we listed all that stuff. Now we're just waiting to hear back from the police what they're going to do. The car is more than likely totaled. So I got to find out if my insurance is going to cover and what it's going to cover, how it's going to cover everything. And yeah, quite the eventful day. Quite the eventful day yesterday. It was really crazy. Yeah, new house. But it was wild. It was a wild day, and I don't want to relive that again. For sure. I don't want to do that twice. But I think I'd give you guys an update. Bee's still a little bit sore, so she's going to take the next couple of days off to try and recoup. And we do have some friends of ours that's going to help us kind of get around town for a bit. We had a friend pick up the youngest to take him to school. My kids have enough people around that they can do stuff, so we're doing okay. So yeah. In any case, that's where we are, and then we're in our new spot. So it's nice. It's very calming. Yeah, one day I'll give you guys a real breakdown of the other side of the story, not the car wreck, but the house. Because the house, we thought it was a God thing and that was all, but it's so much more. I'll give you a full breakdown tomorrow, God willing. But well, I don't know if he has. He didn't look like he looked like he knew what insurance was. He didn't look like he knew what insurance was at all, like not even in the slightest. So there's that. But yeah, so I won't be long because I have a doctor's appointment this morning at around 9, so I need to get going with this. I saw the some reactions from the Jellyroll situation where he was on stage, and I have a different take about it. Not taking anything away from where Jellyroll's walk is. I'm not talking about his walk at all. At all. I'm not talking about his walk. I am, however, talking about people's reaction to him stating something about his walk. So we're going to listen to his speech real quick, and I'm going to point something out that I want us to watch for because it is very intrusive in the church. Okay.
I know they're going to try to kick me off here, so just let me try to get this out. First of all, Jesus, I hear you and I'm listening, Lord. I am listening, Lord. Second of all, I want to thank my beautiful wife. I would have never changed my life without you. I'd have ended up dead or in jail. I'd have killed myself if it wasn't for you and Jesus. I thank you for that. I thank you for my label, Broken Bow, Country Radio, baby. What's up, dog? Oh, Republic, John Manili, we did it, baby. There was a time in my life, y'all, that I was broken. That's why I wrote this album. I didn't think I had a chance, y'all. There was days that I thought the darkest things. I was a horrible human. There was a moment in my life that all I had was a Bible this big and a radio the same size and a 6x8 foot cell. And I believed that those two things could change my life. I believed that music had the power to change my life and God had the power to change my life.
Okay, we'll pause there. But I want to say first, I understand where Jelly's coming from, considering the way the body and the church is, displayed anymore. This idea that God changes you. I think we've gone, and we've had this discussion before. People want to change. They don't want to exchange. They just want to change. They want to keep who they are. Just change a few things. Change the bad. Change the things about me I don't like. Change. I was this before, and then when I found Christ, I changed. They go about this in the alternative way of saying my actions have now adjusted and I'm better. And that's not what we're called to do, is to change. He's exchanging something that's not reparable. We can't repair the flesh. We can't repair who we were. That has to die. It has to die. It has no other option. It doesn't have a fix. There's no Band-Aid. There's no surgery, nothing. That doesn't exist. There's a removal, an exchange that happens. You bring your old, it gets put away, and the new is what he gives you. New is not changed. New is exactly that, new. It's not a resemblance of the old. So there's no changing. There is a conquering of flesh and its dominion by the new life, but there is no changing you by keeping your old self to get better at something. But I understand that's now the way things are being portrayed as Christianity. I get it.
And I want to tell y'all right now, Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him. I love you, Lord.
Now, I did hear people say that he mentioned the gospel, that Jesus is for everybody. Yeah, okay. And I get that's the introduction. So I'm not dogging the introduction. And I also get that he might be a new or young convert kind of thing. I get that. But is he a convert to the right thing, is my question. Like, is he coming to something that's actually helpful to his walk? Or is he coming to something that's not the actual walk that he should be on? Is he believing something that's not the actual gospel? This idea that we have of Jesus and he's changing my life and he loves me so much and I have this relationship with him, and that's where it stops for plenty. There is no realizing that I am not salvageable and that he's calling me to something outside of my regular life, and not to just dislike where I'm at, but to hate the fact that I am a sinner. Hate it. Hate it to the point where I want it dead, that I give it up. There is no good thing in me. There's nothing salvageable. Many aren't getting there. They're getting to this place where they are okay with the fact that this is who I am, and there are some things I don't like, and God will help me get rid of those, which makes me a better person. I'm not trying to get better. There's no getting better. There's either alive in Christ or not. It is that cut and dry. And the new life helps to make sure that the flesh doesn't have control. It is not some exchanging of a behavior, trading out an action. This is trading out life for life. I go to the store, and in order to get this new life, I must exchange the currency of my life for his. While I do understand that he's on fire, it looks like, for what he believes, I'm just unsure of what he actually believes. And I'm not willing to say that he's lost. I think he's facing the direction. He's facing the direction. But there comes a place where we have to start being honest about some things. And this is what we have to be honest about. Many people do not want to die to self. They want self to change, to adjust, to go over to something else, to start behaving differently. And they hope that the behavior changes who they are, not the opposite, where you're changed who you are so that your actions follow. If I exchange the life that I had for the life of Christ, my actions will follow suit. Now, it may take some time for the actions to be pervasive enough to where it's second nature in my flesh. But the life is already exchanged. I'm not depending on the flesh to do anything. I'm depending on the life to push the flesh to do what it's got to do, to sequester the urges that it used to have. The new life does that. It's not a gradual, I'm going to work at getting better at it. That's not how this works. But we've been told that's how it works. Because we don't really depend on the power of Christ. We depend on the power of us through the thought process of Christ. We want to be able to say we have God, so our actions are now going to change because I know God. Not that God will change your actions because it's his life. We don't want that. That means we don't have control. And if you don't have control, you can't get credit. But they want credit. They need credit. I know that people like Jellyroll are not going to listen to, a smaller statement like this, but I want him to understand something. Yeah, you were a horrible human being, But regardless of how many good things you do, you're still going to be a horrible human being, which is why he's asking you to die to self so that your life that you live is his life. You're no longer identified by the human being side, you're identifying by the life of Christ. You just happen to be now still human being. You just live here now. I want people to understand this in no uncertain terms. Throughout the entirety of the New Testament after Jesus' death, he was telling you this. He was telling it to you before he died. This life that we have to live is a life that we need to exchange one for the other, not a keeping of the old to try and make it act, a keeping of the old to try and course correct it. It is a full removal of it, a handing over to the cross to pick up the new life. We have to do that. Otherwise, it's all going to be you trying to do for you so that you will always fail every time. Every time. It's why people are so concerned all the time about not having something that God gave them. It's the same reason that people are so worried about losing something that God holds, because they never gave up their life to him. They're trying to change things about themselves in order to act a certain way and hoping the actions become ingrained in them so that it becomes habit. But that's not how this works. It's the complete opposite is how we have it. The new life should create the habit, not the habit create the new life. The new life isn't born out of habit. The new life is just his. It doesn't need rehearsing. It doesn't need fostering. It just is. And it's supposed to dwell in you. The only way it can dwell in you is by the giving up of the old via the cross. Now, if you don't want to give up the old via the cross, then don't try and expect the wineskin that you're getting in your hand to hold. It's not going to hold. The acids, the old fermentation is going to be destroying that wineskin. So it doesn't get put in there. So now you have to ask yourself, do you have the new wineskin? Do you even have new wine? Do you have anything new? Do you have anything at all? Nothing. New wine, new wineskin. It's an exchange. I do hope that Jellyroll comes to that knowledge soon. And I don't know if he will. He has a lot of things left to be giving up. And I fear in his mind, they don't need to be given up because they're not affecting anything. The biggest thing he still has to give up is self. That's a big one. But you have to recognize it. But it becomes easy when you recognize that the life you have is worthless compared to Christ's. Just gotta choose. You just gotta choose. Will they? I don't know. Depends. But we're not going to be super duper long on this. Like I said, I still have to get ready for my doctor's appointment, and but I saw it, and I had to give a 2 cents about it, and to let you guys update on the thing yesterday. If you're still uncertain about the method of operation of how the Spirit works, I'll give you one very key thing. If you're hoping that your actions, by you changing them, will affect your walk, you have it backwards. If you're thinking that the way you behave is what's going to change your thinking, you have it backwards. The only thing that affects your change is the exchange of the life that Christ has for your dead man to be put in the ground. When he does that, his life pervades and the actions follow. They just do. The faith and works thing is not a production of works because you want to have faith. Your faith produces works. It's a natural progression of faith. You don't have to manufacture it. You don't have to act it and fake it. It's going to happen. With faith comes works. With works comes credit. And once you get credit, you probably will lose faith. Anyway, I'm going to go see if I can get myself a little bit relaxed before this thing pops off today. I'll update you guys on the situation. The more I know, I'm supposed to meet with my adjuster today or at least it's supposed to call. I don't know if they will or not. But we are okay. Like I said, I'm just in still a lot of pain, not because necessarily anything happened in the accident, but I'm 100% sure that the accident resurrected a bunch of the pain that was there before. So, but I like my new spot. It's not completely done with the way I want it to look, and it's nice though. It's calming. It feels so much more peaceful. I'll give you guys a breakdown of it tomorrow when I have more time. Yes, it's so much warmer. So much warmer. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Mean it. Have a grand rest of your day. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. And yeah, tomorrow morning I'll be back. No more Bat Cave. Nope. No more Bat Cave. Anyway, wisdom calls to you. I'll leave you with my. I went back into my vault of all my songs and I put another one to music. So I'll leave you guys with that one. Enjoy it. Wisdom calls to you from the street. So please, please, please find wisdom. Peace.
It's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. In my darkness I cried to you. In my despair you heard my weak request. I sat there a captive to my sin and gloom, incomplete and utter distress. Yet it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. I cried to you in trouble and woe, prisoner in chains, rebelling against my first love, sealed from you in a dark, dank, empty tomb, despising God above. Still, it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you hear. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. I defile myself by what I do, yet you say my rebellion grips me fast. But to yourself you stayed ever true, that life forever past. And it's all I need to know that you care. It's all I need to know that you here. This is all I'll ever need. This is all I'll ever need. One. In my darkness I cried to you. You heard my weak request. I sat there a captive to my sin and gloom, incomplete and utter distress. Yet it's all I need to know